You may think of many things when it comes to American traditions: baseball, apple pie, and of course, Thanksgiving. It isn't just a family holiday. It's deeply tied to American history, culture, and even our presidency. It all began with George Washington issuing the first proclamation of Thanksgiving as a national day of gratitude. Since then, each president has added his personal twist to the holiday. Thanksgiving has been shaped by politics, changing culinary trends, and the unique tastes of those in the White House. What did they serve? What made each president's Thanksgiving special? Let's take a fascinating journey through the amazing history of presidential Thanksgiving dinners. George Washington, 1789, the founding feast. This is where it all starts. In 1789, George Washington declared November 26th a day of public thanksgiving and prayer, encouraging Americans to give thanks for the Constitution and the blessings of liberty. This proclamation marked the first national observance of the holiday, even though Thanksgiving wasn't yet celebrated annually. There is no direct record of what was on his table, but we know Washington enjoyed hearty meals. His Thanksgiving would have been a feast fit for the nation's first president, featuring roasted wild game like venison, pheasant, or duck, alongside root vegetables, seasonal squash, and freshly baked bread. Pumpkin pie may have also been part of the spread, as pumpkins were abundant in early America and used in a variety of dishes. Washington's Thanksgiving was special because of its symbolic nature. It wasn't just about food. It represented the country's newfound unity and gratitude. Thomas Jefferson, 1801. No turkey for him. Thomas Jefferson was the odd one out. Unlike Washington, Jefferson firmly opposed the idea of a national Thanksgiving holiday, or any national celebration for that matter. He believed it violated the separation of church and state, calling it a kingly tradition. To Jefferson, official proclamations for such days conflicted with the First Amendment, so it's safe to say that Thanksgiving was not on Jefferson's agenda. For those eager to celebrate, it must have been a bit of a bummer, but that's how politics and society evolve. For our purposes, we can safely skip Jefferson's Thanksgiving table. Andrew Jackson, 1829 to 1837. The People President's Thanksgiving. Andrew Jackson, often called the People's President, didn't officially celebrate Thanksgiving either, as it was still not recognized nationally during his presidency. However, Jackson was known for hosting large informal feasts, which often featured rustic dishes reflecting his frontier roots and populist sensibilities. Although we don't have exact details of Jackson's Thanksgiving dinners, it's likely his table would have included venison, roast duck, or wild turkey, with simple sides like cornbread, roasted sweet potatoes, and seasonal vegetables. His favorite foods included roasted lamb chops with rosemary, rabbit, and corn cakes. He also enjoyed a dish known as leather breeches, consisting of dried green beans cooked with water and bacon. Jackson's preference for hearty no-nonsense meals would have defined the menu: fewer refined dishes, more robust flavors. His Thanksgiving would have been a down-to-earth celebration of the American frontier spirit. Abraham Lincoln, 1863. Thanksgiving becomes a national holiday. Abraham Lincoln cemented Thanksgiving's place in American culture by declaring it a national holiday in 1863, during the height of the Civil War. His proclamation called on the nation to give thanks for its blessings and pray for unity. This marked a turning point for Thanksgiving that transformed it into an annual celebration of gratitude and reflection. Lincoln's Thanksgiving dinner likely reflected traditional New England fare, as the holiday had deep roots in that region. His table would have featured roasted turkey, cranberries, mashed potatoes, and hearty breads. Pumpkin and apple pies would have been served as dessert, offering a sweet end to the meal. Interestingly, oysters, which were popular in the mid-19th century, would have also graced the table, either as an appetizer or baked into stuffing. What set Lincoln's Thanksgiving apart was its purpose. At a time when the country was deeply divided, Lincoln used the holiday as a way to deliver the message of unity and resilience. Woodrow Wilson, 1913 to 1921, a Thanksgiving for peace. Woodrow Wilson's Thanksgiving celebrations were heavily influenced by the historical context of World War I. In 1918, during the final year of the war, Wilson issued a proclamation encouraging Americans to conserve food and support the troops. His Thanksgiving table during this time likely included simpler fare. Wilson's Thanksgiving dinners often featured turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, and cranberry sauce, but with a focus on moderation. Victory gardens and homegrown vegetables were being emphasized at that time, so his meals would have included roasted squash, carrots, and other seasonal produce too. Desserts were also modest, with traditional pies like apple or pumpkin being the highlights. Wilson's Thanksgiving stood out as a symbol of wartime patriotism, where the focus shifted from indulgence to a humble, meaningful celebration. Franklin D. Roosevelt, 1939. Thanksgiving gets political. Franklin D. Roosevelt's Thanksgiving traditions were defined by a controversial decision. In 1939, he moved the holiday up a week to extend the Christmas shopping season, sparking the Franksgiving debate. Despite the backlash, FDR's Thanksgiving dinners stayed true to classic holiday staples, with an emphasis on simplicity during the Great Depression. His menu included roasted turkey with chestnut filling, creamed onions, mashed potatoes, and green beans. Desserts like pecan pie and pumpkin pie added a sweet touch to the meal. During the economic downturn, affordable ingredients were essential, and dishes like oyster stuffing and cranberry relish showcased the creativity needed during tough times. Roosevelt's Thanksgiving highlighted how intertwined the holiday had become with American identity and economic interests. The decision to move the holiday was political, but the meal remained a comforting and familiar tradition. Harry S. Truman, 1947. The turkey pardoning tradition begins. Harry Truman is often associated with the first official turkey pardon, though historical records suggest this tradition may have started much earlier. Regardless, the post-war era during Truman's presidency saw Thanksgiving dinners that combined nostalgia with modern convenience. Truman's Thanksgiving table featured dishes like roast turkey, cornbread stuffing, sweet potatoes with marshmallows, and green bean casseroles. His dinners reflected the mid-century American palate, with canned goods and processed foods becoming increasingly popular. Canned cranberry sauce and frozen peas were common sights at the time. What set Truman's Thanksgiving apart was the evolving tradition of sparing the presidential turkey. Whether or not he was the first to do so, the ceremony captured the public's imagination and added a lighthearted touch to the holiday. Dwight D. Eisenhower, 1953 to 1961. A General's Feast. Dwight D. Eisenhower, a five-star general turned president, was known for his love of cooking, particularly when it came to grilling hearty meals. Eisenhower often played a hands-on role in planning his family's Thanksgiving dinners. He also had a fondness for grilling steaks directly on the coals, a method which was then named dirty steak. This guy was all about keeping it simple and down to earth. He had a special eggnog recipe too, which he was especially proud of. His menus were rooted in traditional American fare, which often reflected the simplicity and wholesomeness of post-World War II America. Turkey was, of course, the star of the show, often roasted to perfection and served alongside classic stuffing. Eisenhower's Thanksgiving table frequently included mashed potatoes, candied yams, cranberry sauce, and green beans. One of his favorite dishes was beef stew, a surprising yet personal addition to his holiday meal. In fact, the guy loved beef stew so much that this dish became a significant part of his re-election campaign in 1956. His supporters organized Eisenhower beef stew suppers across the country. His Thanksgiving desserts included staples like pumpkin pie and mincemeat pie. Both were highly popular during this era. Eisenhower had a real connection to the meal himself. His military background and love of cooking added a personal touch to the holiday. Bill Clinton, 1993 to 2001. Health meets tradition. Bill Clinton's Thanksgiving celebrations reflected both his Southern roots and his evolving focus on health-conscious eating. The menu typically included roast turkey, often accompanied by stuffing and mashed potatoes. Clinton also enjoyed sweet potatoes, green beans, and cranberry sauce as common side dishes. However, after his heart surgery in 2004, Clinton adopted a largely vegan lifestyle and began incorporating more plant-based options into his meals. During his later years, his Thanksgiving menus became a blend of traditional holiday fare and healthier alternatives such as roasted vegetables, quinoa stuffing, and low-fat desserts. What made Clinton's Thanksgiving dinners unique was this balance between indulgence and health. Barack Obama, 2008 to 2016. Diversity on the plate. Barack Obama's Thanksgiving dinners were a celebration of diversity that mirrored the multicultural fabric of America. Barack Obama's table featured a variety of traditional and gourmet dishes. The menu often included thyme-roasted turkey, honey-baked ham with apricot mustard glaze, and prime rib with creamed horseradish. Side dishes included 2 types of stuffing, cornbread with chorizo, and oyster stuffing, alongside green bean casserole, mashed potatoes, and braised winter greens like collards and kale. The variety of dishes highlighted different cultural influences and regional flavors. What set Obama's Thanksgiving apart was its inclusivity. The menu wasn't just about tradition. It was about honoring the diverse cultural influences that make up American cuisine and showing that Thanksgiving is for everyone. Donald Trump, 2017 to 2021. A blend of tradition and personal taste. Donald Trump's Thanksgiving dinners reflected a mix of traditional fare and his well-documented love for fast food and hearty American meals. Thanksgiving at the White House featured classic turkey dinners with stuffing, cranberry sauce, and mashed potatoes. Trump's personal preference sometimes stood out, like a well-done steak, which occasionally appeared alongside or instead of turkey. While details of his Thanksgiving menus aren't as widely documented as those of previous presidents, Trump's celebrations were more casual, reflecting his straightforward food choices. He didn't emphasize fancy or experimental dishes, focusing on classic American comfort food. Trump's Thanksgiving was less about formalities and more about familiarity, keeping the spirit of the holiday accessible and relatable. And there you have it, a look at Thanksgiving through the eyes of America's presidents, from George Washington's symbolic feast to Barack Obama's multicultural menu. Each president brought something unique to the holiday. Which president's Thanksgiving would you want to try? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Thanks for watching, and we wish you a happy upcoming Thanksgiving.